They call me the greatest, but before the world knew my name, I was just a boy from Louisville, Kentucky, with a stolen bicycle and a burning rage no one could see. That rage became my fuel. I didn't know it yet, but I was about to shake up the world. 1960, Rome. I stood on that podium with a gold medal around my neck, and for one moment, I believed my country finally saw me as an American, not just a black kid from the South. I was wrong. That medal wouldn't buy me a seat at a diner back home. I turned pro, and I destroyed everyone they put in front of me. I talked, I floated, I stung. They said I was arrogant. I called it truth, because I knew something they didn't. I was already the greatest. I just hadn't proven it to the whole world yet. Then I found my faith. I became Muhammad Ali. I wasn't Cassius Clay anymore. That was the name given to my ancestors by men who owned them. I chose my own name, my own God, my own path. The world wasn't ready for a champion who thought for himself. Reporters refused to call me by my new name. Old friends turned their backs. Sponsors disappeared overnight. I learned fast. America loved the black champion who stayed quiet. The moment I found my own voice, I became a threat instead of a hero. 1964. I beat Sonny Liston and became heavyweight champion of the world. I screamed that I shook up the world, and I meant it. For a moment, I thought I'd earned my place. I didn't know the hardest fight of my life wasn't in the ring at all. Then the letter came, my draft notice. Uncle Sam wanted me to put on a different uniform and fight a war on the other side of the world. A war against people who never called me a name I couldn't stand. I had a decision to make, and it would cost me everything. I looked them in the eye and said it plainly. I got no quarrel with those people in Vietnam. They never called me a name. They never lynched my people. Why should I travel 10,000 miles to drop bombs on brown people while my own people are treated like dogs at home? Within hours, they took everything. My title, my license, my passport. The same country I won gold for called me a coward and the criminal in the same breath. I hadn't thrown a punch, but I was already being knocked out by the system itself. They dragged me through courtrooms, sentenced me to 5 years I never served, only because the world was watching too closely. My name became a headline for hatred. Friends I trained with wouldn't return my calls. I was the champion of nowhere. For 3.5 years, in what should have been the prime of my life, I couldn't fight. Not for money, not for pride, not for anything. I trained in empty gyms with no cameras, no crowds, just me and the silence, wondering if the world had already forgotten my name. There were nights I asked myself if it was worth it. My money was gone, my prime years stolen. But every time that doubt crept in, I remembered I didn't lose my belief, they just took my belt. And the belt can always be won back. 1970, they finally let me fight again. My legs weren't what they used to be. My reflexes had rusted in exile. But my hunger, that had only grown sharper. I stepped back into that ring not as the boy who left, but as a man who survived a war they never sent me to. 1974, Zaire. George Foreman was younger, stronger, a wrecking machine. Nobody gave me a chance, but I let him punch himself tired against my ropes while the whole world screamed my name in the dark African night. Then I struck. That night, I didn't just win a fight, I reclaimed everything they stole from me. They took my title, my prime, my peace, but they could never take my name or my belief. Years later, even the Supreme Court admitted they were wrong. I didn't just become champion again. I became proof that a man who stands alone for what he believes can still outlast an entire nation that turned against him.